What's poppin', everybody? It's your girl Henny, and I'm back with plenty of the hot Henny that y'all love for me to pour up on. So if you're new here, welcome, welcome. Please be sure to like, comment, and of course, subscribe. Click the notification bell, select all so that you get notified whenever I do a video. And to my returning Mob Down Henny Gang members, yeah. Now we gonna get into all of this content. So your girl has a little thing going on. Yes, I know. It's because I was outside in New York with no coat on. Like I was down there in Florida still. I know. I know. And I did it to myself. But I'll be fine come Tuesday. Today there was no court. As I told you, if you follow me on Instagram, I did tap in with my Instagram fam and let them know, like, there's no court. I am going to be resting up today, and that's what I did. But as I'm resting up, I'm going through social media, and I'm noticing a lot of stuff that is starting to really get underneath my skin, and I'm not going to hold you. I feel like this Diddy case is bringing a lot of things to the surface. A lot of people are asking, where's the RICO? This is a DV case. All of this stuff is state. This is not federal. This is just criminal. It is not federal. I don't see a RICO. Well, baby, today is your day. If you are one of those people and you would like to jump up on this panel, I will be dropping the link shortly for people to go ahead and come up here and let me know what you think. Sound off. Tell me what you're getting from this Diddy trial. Now, last week, I was brand new to boots on the ground doing things, but I think this week when I go, I have more of a strategy, more of a plan of how I want to do things, pursue things, and bring the news to you guys the way that you guys like it. I'm not going to be giving you these dry, drawn out little things about what happened in court. No. I'm going to be giving you these types of lives, energetic with all of the information that you guys come to listen to. So now let's go over what we have heard over these past 2 weeks. All right. We have heard from Israel Flores, who was the security guard at the Intercontinental Hotel where that incident went down at. We have also heard from Phillips. What is his name? I can't remember his first name, but either way, we heard from the first escort. Okay, we've heard from him. We heard from Cassie. Okay, Cassie gave us like 4 days of testimony, and she was only supposed to give us 3. We've heard from Dawn. We've heard from Agent Gannon. We've heard from George Kaplan. We've heard from 2 of the assistants. Okay, and we've heard from 3. I believe 3 different agents. Don't worry. We'll get all of this information out. I will give you the content, okay? I will give it to where's G thing so she don't come in here putting the water guns in the chat talking about run the content, give up the content. I'm going to give it up. I promise. But what I'm noticing is it is becoming a battle of the sexes out here, even when it comes down to watching TMZ. I'm going to just say their name. I'm going to say it. Harvey. You and that panel you got over there? First of all, I feel like having Mark Garagos over there on that panel that TMZ has going on Tubi is a bias. Mark Garagos' daughter is one of Diddy's defense attorneys. And TMZ, one of the dudes that is in the main courtroom for TMZ, has said that he saw Garagos sitting on the bench over there for the people who were affiliated with the defense team. So Garagos has a bias. I don't know who this little short, weird guy is that has the beady little eyes and the pushed back hairline looking like he should have been an extra on Devil's Advocate that's over there with him. But he claims that he has done a lot of trials where it comes down to slags violations and all that stuff, but he's over there being so insensitive and so biased with his opinions as well. But what I'm noticing is it's a lot of men. There's a few women in there, but it is a lot of men that are down talking this case, that are overlooking the crimes that have happened. And I just want to say, just because something is not socially frowned upon anymore doesn't mean that it does not violate the law. Now, when it comes to the RICO, what is Diddy being charged with? Baby, you know I got it. Don't you worry. Hey. So, what did I don't even need my paper. I know. Diddy is being charged with 1 count of racketeering, 2 counts of slugs trafficking by force, coercion, etc. And he's being charged with 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. Now, the exact wording of it is slaves trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transporting to engage in prostitution. Those is what he's being charged with. It is 5 counts, 3 charges, and all he has to do is be found guilty of 1 of those counts. Okay? Just take the RICO off the table. He's looking at 10 years, I believe, for the transportation, 15 years for the slaves trafficking, and the RICO added on top of that, baby, you are looking at life. Bye-bye, toodaloo. Game over. What I am going to say to you is, if you are getting caught up in the sensationalism of everything and you are allowing yourself to be dragged down that road of this is a domestic violence case, then baby, you are not going to see the evidence that is being laid out for you before your eyes. No, you will not. And all I'm saying is I'm looking at what's being laid out. I still have not made a decision as to, well, yes, I have. I'm lying. Yes, I have. I feel like he's going to be found either, here's where I'm at. Either he's going to be found guilty of something, or something is going to transpire and it's not going to go the way that we think it's going to go. Okay, that's where I'm at with it. I'm kind of down the middle because this is a man that has a lot of money, so it can go any way it wants to. By the way, stay active in the chat because I don't know if you can see it, but I see it. Y'all comments are on the screen as we talk, and I like to see y'all comments go up there. So y'all make sure y'all keep those henny glasses going. Keep the chat active. No, I'm not vertical live, but I'm vertical live, and I'm giving this to you. So if we go all the way back to the security guard, Israel Flores, and we listen to the testimony that he gave on that day at the Intercontinental Hotel when he came up on the scene and he engaged with Cassie and Diddy after the big blow up that happened, that was on film, that went viral, that we saw everywhere. First of all, I want to say this. My only issue with Israel Flores is, sir, you were the one that videotaped the whole incident that went down on your phone. So you say, so you could go home and show it to your wife. Yet you have the only copy of that video that ended up on CNN and all over the globe. Okay. And it was edited. But now here it is, a version that you have that is now being played as evidence in the government's case. So, sir, what was your real intentions for keeping that video? But that's just my only issue with Israel. I said it. I'm keeping it 1,000 with you guys. That's my issue with Israel. Outside of that, Israel says that he had did a surveillance, like he rewound. Once he got the call, there's a woman in distress on the 6th floor. Oh, Israel went to the cameras, rewound to see what he was getting ready to get himself into, and went up there to that 6th floor. And he said when he walked off the elevator, he encountered Diddy sitting in a towel, staring straight out. He said he had a blank stare, devilish stare on his face. And Cassie was in the corner, bundled up, covering and hiding her face. Okay. All she wanted was her phone in her bag and she wanted to leave. Diddy said, "You not going nowhere. You can't leave. You must stay right here." Okay. That phone that he took was her phone. Those bags that he took were her bags. None of that stuff had anything to do with Diddy. That was him keeping her property so that she could not leave. That is what the security guard testified to. Do you know what that is? That is kidnapping. That is keeping somebody against their will. And guess what was going on in the room? Slags with a little slag worker. Prostitution is not legal. Okay, and prostitution is a RICO chargeable offense. I went through the 35 predicate charges that make a RICO, you guys. I've already done this. But you know what happens? When I do these lives like this, for whatever reason, the numbers be a little low. But when I go vertical live, the numbers go a little crazy. I don't know. Go figure it out. YouTube, I don't know what you're doing, but let's continue. All right. So there you already have that there was something that was going on in that room, but you have him keeping her there by force for a freak off, by force for a freak off. What y'all also have to remember is these freak offs did not just happen in LA. They did not just happen in New York. They happened in Miami. They happened overseas. They happened anywhere that he wanted them to happen. And it was engaging with the sex workers that made that illegal. Nobody wants to hear. Understand this. Nobody really wanted to hear all of the details. I mean, we wanted to hear because we're nosy, but nobody really wanted to hear all of the details of what was going on in their lives. Like, I think I could have done without knowing that she was being peed in her mouth so badly that she almost choked on it because both of them were peeing on her. Like, how can we forget that? I think we could have done without a lot of the testimony that has happened in this case. However, you have to get that testimony in order to understand what was going on here. And a lot of things that people are overlooking. I think some of these people that are coming to a lot of these conclusions are people that have not even bothered to pay attention to what Dr. Dawn Hughes had to say, or maybe nobody really covered what the doctor had to say, but she gave a great psychological breakdown. If you've never been in a DV situation, then you will never understand what it means to feel trapped there. People feel like she could have left at any point in time because she is a grown woman and she made a choice to be there. Well, when somebody is deep in your head, remember that line from what's love got to do with it? I'm in here, and remember that line? That's the truth. You are mentally trapped. People don't understand that part. And I feel like Dr. Dawn Hughes, you deserve a video. So you're going to get a video, my dear, because there are people that need to hear what it is that you had to say. But she did speak to coping mechanisms and how when people that are in situations where there is a power dominance, because you have to remember, you cannot take the power dominance off of the table because that is a factor here. You are talking about a multi-millionaire, billionaire dude who could at the snap of his fingers have anything done that he wants because it's very obvious that that was happening. We'll get into that in a minute. But the power dynamics were off, not only economically, but mentally, emotionally. They were also off physically. There was an imbalance there. There was a sense of, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, then I'm going to get this. So it became a routine for her to fall into, for her to just do the things that he wanted her to do to avoid violence, to avoid getting into those types of situations with him, which then becomes the coercion. Now, we've already heard from the assistants where the assistants were telling us that either A, they were using directly Bad Boy or Combs Enterprise credit cards that were paying for freak off supplies. So that means that is tying those legitimate businesses into his freaky practices that also led to illegal acts that became part of this case. RICO by itself is a charge. And people have to understand that. That's a charge by itself. You add to it the 2 counts of slave trafficking and the 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. And baby, there you go. This is the whole case. It's not just RICO. It is a whole slew of things, okay? There's bribery in here because he tried to pay off of the security guard. There's also, like I said, the arson and coercion and blackmail. All of that stuff has been spoken upon in this case. But what it is it gets so buried in everything else that seems like everyday life that people are shrugging their shoulders at it. Well, here's the news flash, everybody. In case nobody remembers this, domestic violence is illegal. It is a criminal offense. It is violence. It is assault. You go to jail for domestic violence. Y'all do know that, right? So either way, whether it's RICO or not, stop saying domestic violence is not a crime. Yes, it is. Engaging with escorts is not a crime. Yes, it is, unless you live in the state of Nevada. Unless you live in the state of Nevada. Outside of that, it is illegal, you guys. It is illegal to go and cut the rag top open of somebody's car and drop a Molotov cocktail inside of it. It's illegal to break into somebody's home. It is illegal to do a lot of the things that have been going on in this case. But what is the RICO? The RICO is starting to come into play. The sex trafficking. Well, we're 13 minutes in. The sex trafficking, the transportation to engage in prostitution, I feel like that's already been pretty solidly placed. But now, when we get to Jane, and I know a lot of y'all have not read my Jane, watched my Jane video, please go watch the Who is Jane, because I believe Jane is who is coming up next. Jane is victim number 2. And with victim number 2 coming into play, that now opens the hell? What the hell just happened? Did I just blank out? Are R. Kelly had federal and state charges. Let me explain something. State charges can be brought into a RICO. That's what people don't know. Go look it up. Go read it for yourself. I'm not making it up. But I was getting ready to say something and the screen just blanked on me and I don't know what the heck that was about. But anyway, we can hear you, just can't see you. You can't see me now? Am I not on the screen? Hey, Ghost. So what, my screen is black? Hold on. Let's see. Can you see me now? Supreme said, "Dear Ghost, leave Henny alone." Y'all still can't see me? Ooh, somebody don't want me to tell it. All right, so guess what we're going to do? Since y'all said that y'all can see my logo, y'all can still hear me now, right? Can y'all hear me? Supreme Sandwich Girl sent a super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, Bookie. Okay, so y'all can hear me. Y'all just can't see me. So we're going to have to do it this way. All right, so I don't know where I was before all of that craziness happened, but y'all witnessed it for yourself when I told y'all that janky things be happening to my channel. Y'all actually witnessed the janky thing happen to my channel. Do me a favor. When we get done with this video, please go into my description box and go follow Hennessy Reviews ×2 or type in That Girl Henny and you will find my other channel. That channel has a lot of coercion content on there. I'm about to go ahead and hide all of that and we're going to move over there. I know that it is not the same amount of subscribers that I have over here, and I will basically be starting a little bit from the bottom and coming back up. But y'all, please go follow my other channel because I don't understand why this channel stays in so much trouble when I watch other people do the same content and nothing happens to them. Seems like it blacked out as soon as you said the lady name, Jane. I'm going to say her name again. I did a video on the lady Jane. Jane is going to come in and she's going to give y'all testimony that is going to sound very similar to what Cassie went through. I read y'all the opening statements as well. What I'm going to ask y'all to do is go watch the Diddy trial playlist. Go in there and go watch the videos that I did on the opening statements because I told you what the prosecution was going to come with and what the defense was going to come with in a brief summary. But what I will do for y'all as well is I will go ahead and I will read those opening statements again. And the reason why these opening statements are important is because as you read the opening statement, now that we've had some testimony that came out, you guys will be able to see where certain things have popped up when it comes down to this trial, where, you know, they start talking about people that were around him that were enabling what we've already heard from both of the assistants, how there were things that went down and people turned a blind eye. We heard Dawn say that they witnessed things happen and people didn't speak out of fear. Fear of Diddy, fear of losing their job, fear of whatever it was that they were fearing. It had a connection to Diddy and it being feared. Not only that, he had people who were enabling him. Okay, and that is what that's my thing with all this. Thank you, Vanessa, for the super sticker. That's been my whole thing with this. So if you look at this case and you take all of it, no, not That Girl Henny ×2. It's Hennessy Reviews ×2. If you take away all of the emotional stuff that is being thrown out there, the narratives that the defense is putting out there, and let me just say this: DJ Academics, disgusting the way that he sat back and called Cassie all types of whores and made it seem like he said in one of his clips that somebody sent to me, he said something to the effect of, she was over there sleeping with other men while she had a man. Bro, are you reading the same thing and hearing the same things that we're hearing? Because that's not exactly how that went. Because that same man that she had is the man that introduced this. Then I saw a post from DJ Vlad, and I'm looking at these big outlets, and I'm looking at all of this, and I'm seeing how the narrative is being spun, and I'm just saying the jury has not been, sequestered, or what is it? They're not in isolation, you guys. They're not in isolation, you guys. That means that they are able to see. They could say, listen, we're not going to go home. We're not going to watch any social media. We're not going to watch the news. We're not going to read any newspapers. But this Diddy thing is everywhere, especially if you live in the state of New York. I'm going to drop the link for the chat. You guys are free to come up and speak your mind and say what it is that you feel about this case. But the jury can go home and at any point in time pop up onto YouTube, type in Diddy trial, and go through videos after video after video. And if you're a juror and you are feeling confused, because you have to remember, jurors are you and I. We are the jury. We are the ones that would be sitting in that jury box. If you had gotten subpoenaed to show up down to that federal courthouse and you showed up, you possibly could have been a part of the Diddy trial jury. And the Diddy trial jury is everyday men and women. This jury panel that he has, though, has six Caucasian women, 2 brown women, 1 brown man, and 3 Caucasian men. Okay? And if they get confused on anything, if we are confused on it, they're confused on it. So them being human, going to go see what it is, yes, times 2, x2. If they get confused and decide to jump up here on social media at any point in time, they're going to jump up here and they're going to get confused narratives as well. And they're the ones that have the jury instructions. They're the ones that have to sit out here and they have to try to get rid of what's speculation and what's actually real. What is actually the thing that they're supposed to be paying attention to. So if they get on social media and they keep hearing this is a domestic violence case because that was a part of the defense's narrative, what do you think is going to happen? Can you guys see me now? Let me get my other phone. Because if you guys can't see me, then I don't want to do it. There, now I've said it. If you guys can't see me, then I don't want to do it. I'm going to go and I'm going to end this live and start it all over again because I want to see y'all. No, y'all can't see me for real. No, y'all can't see me for real. Okay, I'm going to end this live because I also hear a weird noise. I'm ending the live, guys. I'm going to end the live and start over.